The Southern Canal is a very old route on the server. It was created back in December of 2014 by ThebesAndSound and is a well-known landmark on the server. What's unique about this canal is that it stretches over currently 300,000 blocks and carves through various hills, mountains, and all other natural terrain. Today in this video, I'll be telling you the history of the Southern Canal from the perspective of ThebesAndSound. The Southern Canal was ThebesAndSound's first project, and he had no real base or anything before it. He wanted to build something that players could see and use, and he thought that a canal down the southern axis would be a good project for that. Construction started in December of 2014, around the coordinates x0, z26500. These began by mining through hills with gear that he had to grind from spawners. Back then, most players were poor since there was no dupes. For the next 4 months, these would mine for hours and hours until he finished at Z21500. After talking to a player who was building infrastructure at spawn, he went back to spawn to meet a group of players that would eventually become the original South Canal Corp members. In March of 2015, these would contact ChadDX, who was known at the time for building at spawn. ChadDX and Thebes were chatting about their infrastructure projects. Thebes was 26,500 blocks out building a canal towards 00, and Chad was at spawn making roads in a grid every 400 blocks. They both realized that they should have a proper link between the two projects. Given that Chad was already at spawn, Thebes would ask Chad to suggest the location of where his canal should end and connect with Chad's roads. After that, Chad stopped building his particular section of the road and started heading down the south axis looking for a spot. When Chad reached x0, z1200, the spot was obvious, perfect even. Not only were the coordinates divisible by 400, but there was a natural coastline, so a port for boats would look extremely natural. These would then move an alternate count to that location to ensure that the canal part of the link met specification, and Chad built 3 roads in the other directions in such a way they would link up with the rest of his grid. They would name this terminal the South Axis Boat Terminal. It was built by the players ChadDX, Buffer Overflow, Josh Yarn Spinner, Dick, Rainy Afternoon, and a few others. Upon hearing news of the work happening at the spawn end, Thebes traveled to 1200 to meet who was there. This culminated in Thebes' abandonment of working the original section to then go to work with the group at spawn and build the canal southwards. This group of players eventually became known as the South Canal Corp. The South Canal Corp was a group for players who have helped work on the canal. Many players ended up joining over the years after it was created by Thebes and the other players at spawn. With the new players joining, the construction of the canal started to advance quickly. Notably, a player named Total Darkness took the initiative and led in pushing the canal from 56,000 blocks to 100,000 blocks. Thebes was very proud that someone had started working on the canal on their own accord, even when Thebes had never spoken to him. Players had made many structures along the Southern Canal. Various bases, farms, and monuments had been built over the years. Thebes says that he is always pleased when he sees new player-made structures around the canal. The canal slowly kept extending over the years. However, there were conflicts along the way. There were 4 major events that would ultimately change the canal's design and popularity. When 2B2T updated to Minecraft version 1.9, boats received optimizations that made traveling by boat much easier and smoother, and so allowed players to travel at speed on the canal. Also along with 1.9, the enchantment Frostwalker became a problem and freeze large sections. Players would try to remove the ice, but it would only take one person with Frostwalker to mess it up again. However, it would no longer be an issue when Housemaster re-enabled frosted ice melting during the Russia War. A major event for the canal was in August of 2017 when the Vortex Coalition destroyed 100,000 blocks of the canal with flying machines and TNT. This led to a barrier system where the South Canal Corp added obsidian structures so flying machines could not fly through the canal and drain the water. During the repairs, there was a battle known as the Battle of the Southern Canal. A group of Vortex Coalition griefers, led by Jared2013, arrived to halt the rebuilding. When the two groups met, chaos over the canal arose. In the end, the South Canal Corp won the battle, killing Jared2013 and his group. the canal was repaired, and the extension continued. The most recent event that changed the canal design was in September of 2019. Players will often use sponges on the part of the canal closest to spawn, and the square canal, which is a canal that goes in a ring around spawn. This led to a project of widening the entire canal basin and changing the barrier system for the spawn part of the canal to make it more resistant to sponges. And even recently, on January 7th, 2020, a rare server crash corrupted, cloned, and reset some of the chunks of the canal. Even with all of these conflicts, it's amazing that the canal is still being built and repaired till this day. Currently, the end of the canal is at 320,000 blocks, but for a long time, the end was around 56,000 blocks because of an ocean that starts and goes for over 100,000 blocks. It's cool to see that after all of these years, structures like the Southern Canal have so much history to it and are widely used by new and old players alike. Thanks for watching. I would like to thank ThebesAndSound, ChadDX, and the TubiTuti Wiki for the information for this video. Leave a like and maybe consider subscribing for more information like this in the future. Anyway guys, stay fast and see you guys next time.